These days, it's difficult to avoid high prices at the pump, the grocery store, the list goes on and on. But there is one thing you can probably save money on, and that's your monthly energy bill. If you've been with the same electricity provider for too long, you could be paying too much. Here to explain is the CEO of Energy Ogre, Jessen Bradshaw. Welcome to Houston Life. I've seen your commercials on KPRC, Jessen. Explain how this all works, because as we just mentioned in the intro there, when people stay with the same provider for many years, that's often when they're paying more and more.
Right, because if you stay with the same provider, it's usually not a competitive process. Like, you're not shopping around, you're just renewing or you're staying. You may have not even entered into a new contract with your existing provider, so you might be on a default rate or something even bad like that. So it's just very common. We see that quite frequently.
And even if it's like a penny or two increase in your per kilowatt hour price, that can add up to a much larger bill than you had previously. People sign up for these teaser rates, and then essentially a year later their rates go up. Is that right?
That's right. And right now we're moving into the summertime, which is the highest usage period. You're going to consume most of your annual consumption, a very large proportion of it, in the summer. So having a higher rate when you're using more electricity is almost a double whammy in that regard.
Oh, goodness. Okay, so let's break it down to our viewers how this all works. I think we have some video of this tool that people can use on your website to try to calculate their potential savings. Is that right?
Right. So we have two tools that are available on our website, but it's simple, it's free. Try to make it as straightforward as possible. Just enter into your information and some information off of your most recent bill, like how much electricity usage was on your last bill, and we'll take a look and see what you're actually paying on an effective rate basis, and then we'll tell you here's what the marketplace really looks like. So if you've done a good job and you're way under market, it will show you right away. If you are over what you should be paying, it will give you an indication that you're paying too much.
Okay, so if you are already in a good deal, then people can find that out. What if you're currently under contract, though? Because I know this comes up with a lot of customers. Oh, I'd like to switch, but I'm still under contract. Could you still use Energy Ogre to find a better deal?
100%. So the good news, I think a lot of people are not aware that you can always exit a term contract or any kind of a contract for an exit fee. It's just an economic decision. You have to look at the math. So sometimes the savings is so great that it's a no-brainer to look to break a contract. But everyone who's in a contract, you can get out of that contract per the terms of the contract you got into.
Gotcha.
So people think that they're stuck, but they're really not stuck.
You're never stuck, right? You're never completely stuck.
Right.
Okay, so as more and more people are moving to Texas, and I know this happened to me when I moved here, suddenly I didn't have just one power company. I had a bunch to choose from. So this can be very confusing to people. What's your advice for them?
It's absolutely can be overwhelming. That's exactly why we built Energy Ogre, was to really try to simplify this process as much as we possibly could. We saw that people were not taking advantage of this great opportunity with competition for their business. And so, at the very least, what folks need to be looking at was, when was the last time you looked at your new provider? When was the last time you looked at your bill?
Interesting. Oh gosh, I don't think I've looked at my bill in a long time. But you're encouraging customers, look at your bill. That's the first step, right?
Look at your bill, find out if you're in a contract or you're on a variable rate. You might talk to your provider. Am I on a catcher rate? Usually any decision you make to enter into some kind of a fixed price contract is going to lower your costs. You need to understand also how much you use, how you use electricity. So usually on some of these bills you might get a sense of, hey, I'm a pretty heavy user of electricity, and so the kinds of rate plans that you might be able to find online, they're going to be really optimized around high usage, medium type usage, and low usage plans. So it's really important to have a good sense of how much you use.
And throughout this process, of course, Energy Ogre, you can help your customers throughout the whole process, setting up auto pay, switching providers, all of that. Before I let you go, let's talk about some of these special offers that we constantly see here in Texas. Oh, get a free this, get a free that, nights, weekends. I mean, there are, again, to add to the confusion, there are so many freebies out there, but at the end of the day, are they really freebies?
Well, of course not. I mean, it seems to me that you're going to pay for whatever you're getting for free plus some. So generally speaking, the plans with the fewer amount of gimmicks in them, the ones that are fixed energy rates, those are going to be the overall, on the lower end of the cost spectrum. The ones that have all these bells and whistles, and the more complicated it is, usually there's a more margin in that for the providers, and usually you're going to pay a little bit more than you should.
Okay, Justin Bradshaw, we'll leave it there, CEO of Energy Ogre. And your timing is perfect because you're right, as we head into those summer months, that AC is going to be going around the clock.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Justin. Thanks for stopping by Houston Life. And for more information, you can visit energyogre.com or give them a call at 832-975-1000.